Hello, friends. Today we are focused on the slope-intercept form of the linear equation. Slope-intercept is the one people tend to be familiar with. That's our y equals mx plus b. Even if you don't remember the name, you tend to remember those letters. So in this case, we are given a y equals mx plus b formula and asked to identify the slope and the y-intercept of the line. So in our y equals mx plus b, m is slope and b is y-intercept. Latin is y. So y equals, oops, that's not what we're doing right now. We are looking for what the slope is. So our slope, our m, is whatever's going to be attached to the x. It does not include the x itself. So our slope here is -2, not -2x. That is a very common error to make. And then our b is whatever's hanging out on the end, so that is 4. Identify the slope and y-intercept of the line. So our slope, our m, is what's attached to the x, in this case 1/5, again, not the x itself. And then our b, now in the formula it is plus b, so if we ever see a minus a number, that's going to be a negative, whatever that number is. So our y-intercept here is -7. Slope is m, b is y-intercept, so off we go. It's going to be really easy here to want to say that our m is 21 and our b is -3/8, but if you are looking carefully, you will see that the -3/8 is attached to the x rather than being on its own. So in this case, what happened is we just switched these. So you can see it. You'll see the equation as y equals mx plus b. You will also sometimes see the equation as y equals b plus mx. Both are fine. You just have to be careful when you are identifying what's what. So because our things are switched around, we'll always go off what is on the x is our m. So our m here, our slope, is -3/8, and our b, our y-intercept, is the plane number, the 21. And then finally, y equals -x. So this one's a little bit trickier. You might know, or you might not, that when there is no number in front of a variable, the number is 1. We just typically don't write it because it is assumed. That is one of our hidden rules of math. So technically we have y equals -1x here. And then what about our b? So m is -1. Our slope is -1. That's attached to the x. What about our b? Well, we've got this blank here. Typically we would have a plus b hanging off. The only number that can give us that blank, that can make it go away, is if our b is 0. Because we're not typically going to, write plus 0, although we can. So if you find in your equation you have no obvious b, your b is 0. So now we're going in reverse. We are given the slope and the y-intercept and asked to actually write the equation of the line. So y equals mx plus b. Again, m is slope and b is y-intercept, and the y and the x stay the same. So I'm going to actually y equals blank x plus blank. So mx, so our m here, our slope is -3/2. And then our y-intercept is 1. That's it. This one we have a slope of 2/7 and a y-intercept of -8. So y equals 2/7. That gets the x plus -8, or you could just write -8, whatever is your preference. Either one works. As long as that negative's in there somewhere. Slope of -1, y-intercept of -9. Y equals -1x minus 9. Or like we said earlier, I could just put y equals -x minus 9 and skip that 1 because it is assumed. And then finally, we have a slope of 9/4 and a y-intercept of 11.5, m and b. So y equals 9 over 4x plus 11.5. Sometimes our y-intercept will be a decimal or a fraction. That's okay. It's not ideal when graphing, but if we're just talking flat out equations, then we're fine. We can also, of course, write all of these with the numbers flipped, with b first, then mx. It doesn't matter. As long as you know that whatever is attached to the x is your slope, you can write it whichever order. It doesn't matter. See you later.